Deputy, I might just ask yourself and possibly even Deputy Drennan on this point that we've had instances where environmental NGOs, like for example on Tashka, which receive state funding, have put in serial objections to Blonbia cheese plant, and this was drawing out the process quite a bit, which drew criticism from some in government quarters, saying that it's unreasonable the amount of objection that was taking place, and that the state is actually funding an organisation to do this. Do you think that that's a problem, that there is an issue that some have highlighted about environmental NGOs stymieing works of this kind?
Well, first of all, on Tashka, don't and can't use any state funding for any of the litigation they take on any planning applications. The state funding they receive is for a series of state-supported programmes, particularly around environmental awareness in schools and environmental awareness of some of our public utilities. Any judicial reviews they take, they fund through their own resources, and it's important to set that out. Look, my view on these is people are going to take judicial reviews, whether you like it or I like it. Right? That's just a fact. And Tashka is an organisation that have a statutory function set out in legislation. Again, whether one thinks their actions in the Glanbia plant is right or wrong, they're going to do that. So for me, the issue is, rather than wasting time debating the rights and wrongs of individual applications, make sure that if somebody's going to lodge an appeal to the board, or if somebody's going to initiate a judicial review, everybody knows how long that's going to take. I spend lots of time talking to builders, to developers, to public utilities, who often face some of the strongest environmental challenges, Éireann being one of them. And we're all now agreed that if adequate resources in terms of staffing were put into the councils, the board and the High Court, and if every aspect of that process was statutorily timelined, then we would have absolute certainty and there wouldn't be time wasting. What I will say is, and again, the Greater Dublin Drainage project is a case in point. It was environmental activists who took that case, but they took that case 3 years ago. It's been sat in the board for 2.5 years. That's nothing to do with the people who took the JR. That's to do with a lack of resourcing for the board by government. So I get nervous when I hear government backbench TDs or government ministers blame other people for failures that are squarely on the government. Put in place a statutory timeline, put in place the resources, and those issues will be dealt with by the appropriate bodies in a timely manner. That's all any of us want, clarity, certainty on the timelines, and therefore let's focus on fixing that problem. But that would require government to invest in the staffing as well as to amend the legislation to have those statutory timelines, something when we tabled amendments to the Planning and Development Bill last year they refused to support.